You're watching KBC Channel 1. I am Shiksha Arora, and this is Easy Friday, and we're about to get a little easy because with me, I've got the cast of Big Girl, Small World on Showmax, which has been doing extremely well. Quite a relatable show. You know, things that happened in our day-to-day lives, and when you see it on television, you're just like, why has no one spoken about this yet? Well, guess what? It has officially been spoken about. 4 episodes are officially out, so you can watch the rest. So with me, without further ado, let's get right into the cast. I've got the lead. Her name is Shika Wamai in the show, and she is June Jenga. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
I've got Emmanuel Mugo, the one and only Mugo. You've seen him in a couple of...
A couple of what?
We'll talk about that. And he's Kasim with a C in the show.
Yep.
And then we have the beautiful Aisha in the show,
Hello.
who is Dana and Juguna, and it's so lovely to have all of you.
Thank you so much for having us.
You know, I was watching you when I was just like observing you. I feel like Shiko is June. June is Shiko. Is that true?
No.
Really?
I beg to differ.
Okay.
We do share similarities, especially physically. The things personality-wise we do share, but we are two very distinct people.
Really? I guess the people who are close to you would know better. Right?
Wow, really? Really? On national TV?
You know, guys, it's been 4 episodes officially out. How does it feel? It has been received so well. The show has been talked about on social media. You know, we saw it trending the first episode, and it was so nice to see such a warm response. So how do you guys feel about that?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
I am super excited. The reception has been amazing so far. I mean, you guys know the work that went into all this.
Yeah.
Those long nights, those very, tenuous hours, but all in all, the reception has been dope. So we're just glad to see that. And hopefully with the, incoming episodes, there's more to come.
How many more to go?
How many more, guys? Shall we tell them?
It's 13 episodes, so it's
Just 4 so far, 9 more.
So we haven't yet hit the middle.
So much more. There's
better. So much more.
So much better.
Way more spicy.
So much action already. Like, I remember watching episode 1 and I was like, okay, this is a bit slow, but the way it ended, I was like, I didn't expect that.
There's the hook.
Right? There's a hook in every episode, and I love it. I also do understand that it was written by female writers.
Yeah.
The team was just comprised of all women, and that I think is just phenomenal on its own. You know, it's directed by Nick Mutuma. It is produced by Kevin Jue. And I just love the fact that all these talented people are working on a project, and it's being received well. So it's happiness all around,
Truly.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Aisha, wow, Dana.
It's okay. Literally, everyone just calls me Aisha, and I'm like, yes.
I'm so used to watching you, and I'm just like, now I'm seeing you, I'm like, Aisha, sorry, Dana. Dana Juguna is your name,
Yes.
and we shall stick to that.
Thank you.
Dana, as somebody who's actually lived abroad,
Yeah.
right, and somebody who has had the transition of coming back to Kenya and then living and adjusting with the life that we have here, I do understand you were in London for a few years, and which is extremely fast-paced, and then you come to Nairobi, which I think, by the way, it's become fast as well.
Yeah,
Like 5 years ago, before COVID, we were just like sukumai, but now super quick as well. Was your transition as tumultuous as Aisha's was?
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, so like the first few months, you're like, oh, this is nice. Everything's nice and calm. I can breathe. And then after that, it kind of gets a bit trying to figure out how to get things done with a different system, with a different pace, and then also kind of like acclimating to just the general culture and vibe. Yeah, it's a tough one. It takes like almost a year, and then you're like, okay, I got this.
And just there's so many people actually expats. We have people who are living in different countries, well, born in Kenya, and then they move, and then they stay there for a long time in the diaspora, and then they come back, and they're just like, wow, this is different. So it's something that's so relatable as well, and I'm so glad that that was part of your character, because once again, like, I really like there's so many things that people can relate to, like little things. So did you find yourself fitting in Aisha's shoes very easily?
Yeah, I did, quite easily. I mean, there's a lot about her that's very different to me, but I feel like the core of her was very relatable to me.
Yeah.
The fact that she was coming back and starting over, I could totally get that, and just trying to kind of orient herself. reconnecting with her best friend, and also trying to figure out her life in general and what that looks like. Yeah, I could definitely relate to that a lot, and that made it very easy to just slide in.
Right.
Yeah.
And how was your preparation for this particular role?
It was interesting. So reading through the script, I kind of got a bit cocky because I was like, yeah, I got this. This is easy, this is doable.
A walk in the park.
But then it kind of felt like as the process kind of went on, I did find moments where I had to actually sit down and be like, okay, hold on. I have to do the acting prep for this part because there's something I don't quite know. So I had to kind of, you know, just do the whole thing of like asking the questions and trying to kind of build the world for myself so I could get into those moments that were a bit difficult for me to stick to. Yeah.
Right. And is this your first Kenyan show?
This is my first Kenyan anything. Yeah. Very
I
excited.
love that for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you did an incredible job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Let's get to Kasim with a C.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
So, Mugo, you know, you
Yeah.
are somebody who's always been this lover boy. In
Dang.
almost all the shows that I've watched, and most of your characters,
Yeah.
you've always been somebody who is like a Romeo. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's just
Yeah.
charming and just such a lover.
A heartbreaker.
So big on love. And then in this particular show, I feel like before we really got to see the Romeo lover boy part of you,
Yeah.
things happen.
Yeah. And I love that. It's the chaos for me,
Yeah,
guys.
the chaos. And,
It's the
and I
chaos.
think that's a bit different from
Yeah.
what you usually play and what you're usually used to. So how was that for you, like, you know, getting a completely different character, something that is, you know, you haven't really experienced before,
Yeah.
a comedian. I know you're a bit funny sometimes. You can be.
I have my moments, guys. I can be funny if I try. Comedy is not
He
easy.
can. I know, right? So how was it for this particular character, Kasim? It's quite difficult because, as you said, comedy is not easy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the preparation must have been very difficult, very intense to try and get you out of your usual character and usual personality into becoming Kasim.
Yeah, definitely. Jeez, that was a mouthful, Shiksha. Jeez. Amazing work. I love it. It was very different handling Kasim as a character as compared to everything else I've been doing so far.
Right.
What really attracted me to the role was the comedic aspect attached to him. I mean, this is a guy, yes, he has his ups and downs. Yes, he's kind of a lover boy, but there's something else attached to him. And the whole comedic aspect was a challenge which I really just had to go in and do my best. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I remember the first call Nick and I had, it was like, he was really encouraging me and pushing me to do my best and to actually, he believed in me enough to pull off this role.
Yeah.
And there was no way I could let him down. There's no way I could let these talented people down. Because I saw what I had to work with. Audition. You remember. Man, from the get-go, I could feel this was something special. So I really had to put my best foot forward. Yeah, and yes, the lover boy thing was there, and it got to a point where it kind of gets frustrating because now I start feeling like I'm being typecast. Mugoni lover boy too. Yeah, I'm just here for the There's more to that, and I feel with Kasim, there's so much more to him, and it's a character you will love, you will hate, you'll want to hug him, you'll want to slap him, all in one.
Right.
And I can wait for guys to see more.
Interesting. You know, Mugo, what happens with, I don't want, no spoilers, sorry,
No spoilers.
but
I'm
there
trying my best.
was something that was leaked, obviously, private videos that were leaked in this particular show.
Yes.
And Kasim became an overnight sensation, while our sweet Shiko
Imagine.
loses everything.
Society. That
Right.
is supposed to show you how things are,
I was
man.
actually going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Did you just read my mind?
I got you.
So I was just going to ask, like, do you think this particular plot twist is an accurate depiction of what happens in society?
Oh, definitely. As in what we do even as our art is holding up a mirror to society and
Yes.
being like, yeah, look at us, this is us. I mean, that's the case. So we got to see how a man would be treated in such a situation and how a woman would be treated in such a situation, how it affects them, the dynamics.
Right.
For Kasim, it totally skyrocketed
Yes.
everything. For Shiko was the complete opposite. And not to spoil too much, but there's so much more.
Yeah.
And I feel there are lessons to be learned from this. Yeah.
Amazing. And now finally getting back to our lady. Yes, June, you know, this particular show, I feel like there's so many different elements. There's so many like little things that have been touched on of what actually happens in the life of a millennial, right? And the fact that you also had your videos leaked in that particular show. I feel like the one thing that, for me, it caught my eye was the way your emotions were captured, right? Because it can be it is a very stressful situation and a scenario that nobody wants to experience. And what happens after? It's like a trickle effect. So for you as June, how was it preparing for this particular role because of how intense it is emotionally? It can drain you. There was a lot of crying. Shiko cried a lot.
Right. She's right.
Like, you know, I was just watching the show, and every episode Shiko has cried. I was counting. I'm like, how many times will she cry? And it's true because of how deep the whole thing was and like how deeply it affected you. So tell me, you know, June, how was it preparing for such a role? And then I'll come to that audition that you guys were.
There's nothing much to say.
I need to know the inside joke. So tell me, June.
Okay. Well, luckily, I would say I have a background in theatre.
Amazing.
Yes, and I started acting in my elementary years. So from kindergarten, you can imagine all that training up until I finished high school. I have always been in a space where I've been taught and trained to tell stories. So that helped a lot. Another thing that helped is Nicholas Mtuma. He is an amazing director.
Right.
He's a patience teacher. He's a gentleman of distinction, and he's a great director. So in fact, before we even started, we had rehearsals, and our rehearsals were very, they were not rehearsals like let's just go through the lines and everything. No, it was questioning why this is your choice to express this emotion, or why is this your choice to tell the story this way, like in a very objective way. Nick is a teacher. He's a creative. He's an amazing creative, but he's a teacher, and also we were given so much freedom to be able to tap into our acting range. You know?
That's very important because, you know, sometimes as an actor you feel restricted when you're told deliver like this and stick to this and do not move from point A. You're not going to point B. So that's a very important point that you mentioned.
So we had also a huge team of support. Like for instance, because I'm theatre trained, I'm from the stage. It was quite a task adapting to the camera. We had an amazing DOP by the name of Kevin Davis. And KDAT, that's what we call him, KDAT. He taught me how to play to the camera.
Wow.
And he was like, on stage, it's this big. But you're performing for the lens is this big. Because my movements were so large, I was out of frame a lot. So that teaching and that cultivating, our set was such a teaching set.
Yeah, it really was.
It was such a teaching set. Like if we grew. Honestly, I felt my craft grew, my art grew, and we were given the space to learn, to make mistakes, to pick up again, to do it again. The patience on that set. And the mental stability on that set. Barbara Caruana, Kevin Njue, Nick Mtuma, you guys just created such a healthy working environment that we were able to push and do things that we were able to do. And so,
I love that. And you know, sometimes when you have good leadership, the result is in front of your eyes.
Truly.
Right?
Yeah.
You can see how beautiful it is. So, you know, the funny thing is, I was looking at the tweets for this particular show, and somebody said something hilarious, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring it up. So somebody said, were you auditioning for a radio series, or were you auditioning for an actual TV series? Because everybody has such phenomenal voices. And they mentioned Aisha, no one mentioned you.
I guess
You're a comedian, it's okay. They mentioned you and they mentioned Kui, right? So the three of you, they were like, these ladies should be put on radio. Were you actually auditioning them to act or to just be on radio for their voices? Why does everyone have such good voices? Have you ever had like voiceover experience or something?
I am not only an actor, I'm also a voiceover artist.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I could hear
There
it.
it is.
There it is. It makes sense now. What about you, Dana?
Well, I've done, I was trained in theatre for 2 years, so we did a lot of like vocal production, voice and speech, so that's kind of where I got my
Amazing.
control.
And Koi Kabala is she's a
She's on
radio
radio,
presenter.
yeah.
presenter
So
as
she's
well.
just, it's her
It
thing.
kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, this set is full of talent. This space voice right here, the talent here. You don't know. Anyways, let's talk about how this has been received by the audiences, right? People are really loving it. People are saying great things about it. You know, people have mentioned that it's nice to see new faces. This debate that we always have, that we have the same 5 actors on Kenyan television and movies.
The same.
Well, guess what? Nicholas Mutuma is like, you know what? You're always talking about how I'm always there on every TV show. I'm going to make sure there's nobody part of these 5 new faces, people who have not been given, you know, lead roles per se, and then now you guys are out there with like the big 5. I would like to call you guys. There's you 3, and then we also have your mom. She's incredible on the show.
Zainabu Hari.
That's her name. Oh, I think we need to like give her a shout out.
Yes, Zainabu.
Such a talented actress. She stood out for me as well. And the things that she did was so relatable as well.
As a mom,
Do you know, like the whole religion aspect of sometimes when you do something wrong, your parents are just like, but you're not praying enough. You know?
Exactly.
God needs to watch over you. Just kneel down right now.
Let's pray now.
Let's pray right now together. I'm here to guide you. So I love these little things. Let's talk about the fact that you guys actually filmed this, I believe, sometime last year.
Yes.
Yep.
And then it's taken such a long time to actually get it out there. So what's the process like? Like for somebody who doesn't know what happens behind the scenes from the time that a movie or a TV show is conceptualized to a time when you start filming it and then to the post-production. You know, people think that this is easy and it's just, it happens in, the turnover is quick. It's super quick and super fast. So maybe someone like Mugo, you've been in this industry for a very long time. You can tell us and take us through the different steps and the different processes.
Oh, for sure. First of all, you said from the moment of conceptualization.
Yes.
Now, the moment the story comes alive, now it's
Right.
up to the production to get together. Us as a, let's call ourselves Shiksha Production. Us as Shiksha Production, we have to now understand how we're going to tell the story in the best way possible. That means we have to gather resources. We have to consider locations. We have to consider who we're going to work with, where, and what, you know, time stipulations we are going to put for this project. So you can imagine, even before wonderful people like this come on board, there's so much that has gone down from the writing process to the moment we actually go to the ground and do what we need to do. And as far as now, you know, we get the artist and the work kicks off, now it's the process of actually producing.
Right.
And now that's where the magic happens. That's where now we really have to grind and, you know, put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
Because again, it's all a matter of repetition and, you know, making sure the best product comes through. That's why we had such an arduous process with the rehearsals and everything. And detail to attention is everything. Detail to attention makes the difference in everything, and that's what I really took away from this experience, because we really took our time to make it work.
Really.
One of the notes one of the, you know, good things that people are saying is the cinematography is really.
I was just going to mention that at some point.
Like
And
K-Dot,
Hey,
Bro,
and
Sharon,
perfectionism.
And the
Bo
colours.
Mungai,
Dodd.
we had an amazing team on deck.
I love the
Yo,
colors as well.
Yeah.
It was very.
Do you
it
know
was
like
tastefully
how
done.
nice and tasteful it is to watch
That is
Kenyan television just looking so sweet.
It looked amazing.
I was very happy. Honestly, I was like, my heart is full because it's so nice to see that. And you know, it looks like it's international, which is fantastic.
Shout out to our editors also, the editing team.
Yeah.
How
job,
long
guys.
did you guys actually take to film the whole thing?
Okay, so
How many months?
for who?
For which
Before we got on board, there are guys who had already been working.
Yeah.
So you can imagine,
Okay.
yo,
This thing.
You guys were on set for how many days? How many months?
could have been.
Okay, so well, you were the main character. So how many months or days were you on set?
Yeah, man, I feel like I'm still on set.
Let's do that.
It was, gosh, God.
We started what, in July?
We did? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's,
you started like that first July 1st. You were there.
Yeah,
She's
like
the first one on set.
Yeah.
And then when did you end? When did you finish?
Officially, we finished in November.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. November, October.
October?
November.
Oh, no.
Listen, we finished. The show is.
We finished.
July, August, September,
Yeah.
October, November. That's 5 months
and that's
of
just the
filming.
production
And
phase. That's just the filming phase.
Yeah. So it was And we had breaks in between also.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it wasn't, it wasn't
Like
just
back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, yeah.
But this process, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm just going to say it. I'll get in trouble. Kevin Joe is not here. Kevin, you'd have been here. This for Giraffe started, let's count, let's give them last year,
The year
like 2 years
before, yeah.
ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
2
this is,
years.
yeah,
That's
so
why I
this
say
is
it's more
year
than a
3.
They're like this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, respect. I have immense respect for creators, you know, directors, everybody who's in this industry when it comes to film and television, because the amount of work that goes into it, to see a final product looking so good, you guys,
Yeah.
you need to feel proud. You
Yeah,
honestly
we
need to.
are, yeah.
Are we going to win some awards next year? Kala?
Let's find out. Let's find out.
You know, as we wrap up, June, you said you are in theater. Like, how different is theater from, you know, shooting for a series? Because as you mentioned, that one thing was, you know, your actions and your movement and everything was just so larger than life. It was big. Because you only have one shot. It's like live television. You have one shot. You make it or you break it. You make it happen at that moment, you give it your all. But then, of course, when you are working as an actress on television or for a movie, there's always cut,
Yeah.
you know, and you can do better. So for you, how difficult was it to make that transition?
It was challenging, I would say. But I had Nicholas, I had Kedat, I had Kevin Joe, who helped me with that particular journey, with that transition. The basics of it is take theater and then make it small.
Okay.
So instead of bigger movements,
Right.
we need your emotions to radiate. I had to change how my body tells a story on camera, the way versus how it would tell a story on stage. And that's something I had to learn, telling the story with your body, telling the story with your voice. My voice was so huge and carrying. Sound guy was like, listen, June. Theirs was like, June, please. So learning all those things, but I had all these people in place. So it was like, take theater and make it subtle.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Which directors have hit you up? Any new offers that you'd like to tell us about? What's
Radio
next?
jobs.
What's next? Tell
Radio
us
jobs,
more.
my friends.
I'm sure everyone's giving you your flowers.
Yes, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. But that question, no comment.
Okay, no comment. What about you, Mugo? What's next for the... She's refused to give me an exclusive.
Can we just?
Sawa, nakukuta tu.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Mugo, tell us.
Yes.
What about you? What's next for you? By the way, you did an incredible job with Mpakani as well.
Check it out on Netflix. Shameless plug, but anyway.
But what's next for you?
More stunts, more action,
Ooh.
more stuff coming up.
Yeah?
More stuff coming up. I really want to get into more of the stunt side of things. As you know, I've been doing stunts
Yes,
for a
you
while
have,
now.
yes.
I want to take it a notch higher. I want to do more workshops. So in collaboration with Rafiki Hub, we will soon be having that very soon. So stay in contact, guys.
Amazing.
And basically, let's just grow this industry and grow what we are doing, grow our stories, and tell it in the most authentic manner possible.
Mic drop.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
And what about you, Dana? What next for you? You know, you mentioned this is your first ever Kenyan appearance.
Yeah.
And it's like, now you're appearing on television, on radio, you have
Yeah.
interviews, and it's
wild.
just amazing. It's wild,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So is this something that you see yourself doing in future?
You know what? I don't even know right now. I feel like I'm still letting it all wash over me right now.
Yeah.
But I am keeping myself busy doing some training with actors, one-on-one for auditions or whatever it is that they need.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I've been doing to keep myself busy. But in terms of acting, I'm still kind of just like,
Soaking it all in.
yeah, I'm just like,
day
okay,
at a
Big
time.
Girl Small World has landed. Cool.
I
Yeah.
love that. And yeah, with that, it's time for us to say goodbye to you. Thank you for watching. This has been incredible. Once again, Big Girl Small World is now out on Showmax. You can watch it, you can check it out, and see this incredible cast do what they do best. You know, it's so nice to see Kenyan television growing. It's so nice to see that the industry is now bigger and better than ever, and it's right in front of you. The finished product is in front of your eyes, so go check it out. Don't miss that chance. In fact, follow them. I can give you their social media handles, and you can check them out. June Njenga.
Yes, June Jenga, at June Jenga, that's on Instagram. Also TikTok and Facebook.
Right, and Emmanuel Mugo.
Nimugo, NI_Mugo, Instagram, not on TikTok, not on Twitter, but on any Instagram.
And what about you, Dana?
At Dana, D-A-I-N, and 20 A's.
Oh,
Yeah.
20.
I was really searching for an available thing, and so I was like, let me just keep pressing the A button.
so were you not on social media before this?
No, I've been hiding.
Really?
Yeah.
No IG Dana at that time?
Yep, nope.
Last year?
Yep.
I need to have a talk with you.
That's why I have 20
I really
A's.
respect people who can stay without social media. Let's talk. Let's chat later. All right, Shiksha Arora is my name. Thank you for watching. We'll do this again next week, same time, same place. Until then, don't go anywhere because Cole Jax is up next with Disco Funk. Friday night has officially started. So get the Friday night fever on. And 70s, 80s, 90s music. This is it. Stay tuned.